Have you ever wondered about the roots of India's rich cultural and religious diversity? Today, we're exploring the Bhakti movement, a revolutionary tide that swept across India, shaping its cultural tapestry and spiritual ethos. Dive with us into the profound depths of the Bhakti movement, a revolution that transformed India's religious landscape. The Bhakti movement, primarily a revolution of the mind and spirit, unfolded around the 7th century CE. During this era, the Indian subcontinent was a cauldron of socio-political changes. The rigid caste system had entrenched deep divisions in society, creating an environment of disparity and discontent. Adding fuel to the fire was religious orthodoxy, which dictated the norms of social life and reinforced the caste divide. Amidst this turmoil, the Bhakti movement emerged like a breath of fresh air. It was a response to these societal ills, a call for a more egalitarian society where devotion to the divine transcended social status. This revolutionary movement was not confined within the walls of temples, but spilled over into the streets and homes, touching the lives of the common man. It sought to dismantle the barriers of caste, creed, and gender that had plagued society for centuries. The Bhakti movement, thus, was a beacon of hope, fostering inclusivity and equality in a divided society. At the heart of the Bhakti movement were its ardent philosophers who breathed life into its core principles. Three such luminaries were Kabir, Ramananda, and Mirabai. Kabir, a mystic poet and saint, defied the rigid social hierarchy and preached the philosophy of a universal brotherhood. His teachings were imbued with a sense of unity, emphasizing that God resides within all beings regardless of their societal status. Ramananda, a religious reformer, championed the cause of a casteless society. His teachings were grounded in the belief that everyone, irrespective of caste or creed, has the right to seek spiritual enlightenment. Then we have Mirabai, a devout princess turned ascetic, who challenged societal norms with her unwavering devotion to Lord Krishna. Her spiritual journey and poetic expressions of love for Krishna continued to inspire millions. These philosophers, each with their distinct teachings, propagated the ideals of the Bhakti movement, advocating unity, devotion, and the dissolution of social barriers. These philosophers, with their profound wisdom and unwavering devotion, became the torchbearers of the Bhakti movement. So, what were the ideologies that the Bhakti movement championed? The Bhakti movement, which swept across India from the 14th to the 17th centuries, was a revolution of thought and spirit. Its essence lay in its ideologies, the most central of which was an intense personal devotion to a chosen deity. This devotion was not confined to temples or rituals, but was expressed in day-to-day life, making spirituality a lived experience. A second significant ideology of the Bhakti movement was its disregard for caste distinctions. The movement's saints and philosophers believed in the equality of all humans, a radical idea in a society steeped in caste hierarchies. They preached that the path to the divine was open to everyone, regardless of their caste or social status. Another pillar of the Bhakti movement was the use of vernacular languages for religious discourse. Instead of Sanskrit, which was the preserve of the elite, the saints of the Bhakti movement composed their hymns in languages that were spoken by the common people. This democratized religion, making it accessible to all. These ideologies were not just revolutionary in a religious sense, but also had profound social implications. By challenging caste hierarchies and promoting religious tolerance, the Bhakti movement triggered social reform. By using vernacular languages, it brought religion to the masses, fostering a sense of unity and shared cultural identity. The Bhakti movement thus was not just a religious revolution, but a socio-cultural upheaval that reshaped India. In essence, the Bhakti movement was a transformative force that left an indelible mark on India's history. Its rich historical background, influential philosophers, empowering ideologies, and enduring relevance have left lasting imprints. The Bhakti movement, with its empowering ideologies and profound impact, continues to echo in the heartbeats of India.